3, I'm Ria Rambali.
I'm Ryan Baitshu.
I am Jassi Marik with sport.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your weather report.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. Number of people held in WPC killing and gun heist continues to climb. 10 people now in custody as more guns recovered.
Homeland Security Minister reveals several people detained for quadruple murder in Morva, while police ramp up security in the area.
Defense Minister wants Trinidad and Tobago to adopt a U.S.-style approach where property owners have greater access to firearms.
Ahead in sport.
Oh, he struck a mighty hit.
Poor pitch conditions at the Viv Richards Stadium resurface, forcing the match between the Leewards and TNT to be abandoned.
Today was hot. Just how high were our temperatures? I've got details on that and much more in the full forecast.
10 people are now in custody, and police have recovered a total of 43 firearms, along with more than 900 rounds of ammunition following Sunday's deadly heist at the San Fernando Municipal Police Station.
The incident also led to the murder of WPC Anushka Eversley. There is still no confirmation on how many guns and ammunition was stolen from the station. However, police say a major operation in Claxton Bay led to the arrests. Between 6 p.m. on Sunday and 7 a.m. on Monday, Highway Patrol South officers stopped a white Kia K2700 with 3 men inside. A search turned up 13 firearms, 12 magazines, nearly 300 rounds of 9mm ammunition, and 10 12-gauge cartridges. All 3 suspects were taken into police custody. That operation was coordinated by Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara and senior officers. This comes after police seized 30 firearms and more than 600 rounds of ammunition just a day earlier. Also in Claxton Bay, 7 suspects were arrested in prior exercises.
Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander says new measures are being introduced to tighten firearm storage and accountability at municipal police stations. He was responding to questions in the Senate today as he addressed concerns over the security breach at the San Fernando Municipal Police Station. Alexander emphasized that immediate institutional reforms are already underway.
These include strict new accountability protocols for firearm storage, security to ensure such a breach never happens again.
Minister Alexander did not provide further details on the measures announced.
Meanwhile, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government Khadija Amin says an administrative report will run alongside the criminal investigation into the murder of Corporal Eversley, including the theft of arms and ammunition. She
says the report will examine what went wrong from an administrative standpoint, including chain of command, supervision and procedures that may have been breached, with recommendations for improvement.
And Crime Stoppers has issued a $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of those responsible for the heist. The Homeland Security Minister says law enforcement authorities have moved to prevent any reprisal killings following Sunday's quadruple murder along Lady Young Road in Morva. According to Alexander, the police service has already taken steps in response to the incident, which has heightened tensions in the community. 9-year-old Jelana Armstrong was among 4 people killed when gunmen opened fire on their vehicle. Alexander said in addition to detaining persons, police patrols in the area have also been beefed up to ensure order.
To specifically address the risk of reprisal, specialized units has been deployed to the area. We are maintaining peace through active intelligence-led patrols and heightened surveillance within the community.
Alexander assured that security agencies will continue to monitor developments. Independent Senators Sophia Choate and Anthony Vieira have voiced deep concern over the crime crisis, but they say the solution goes beyond government action and more laws. Speaking outside the Parliament today, Choate said crime has been troubling for several years, but she expressed confidence that those responsible for security will make the right decisions. However, the independent senator does not think the solution to crime is more legislation, as she believes the necessary laws are on the books.
You know, people look to legislation as though it is the band-aid for every sore and every cut. I don't think that is the case. I think that's completely wrong and short-sighted. So I think investigation, detection, making sure that the system of justice works so that people pay for their crimes are the things which are most important.
Meanwhile, Vieira told CNC3 News now is not the time to blame the government and the police service. He said crime must be tackled holistically, combining policing with social, economic and institutional reforms as a co-development priority. And the independent senator said he has confidence in Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara.
I think I do. He has a unique way of speaking, but he seems to be leading from in front, and I think he's doing his best.
But Vieira warns that fixing crime needs a bipartisan approach and not adversarial politics.
Defense Minister Wayne Sturge believes homeowners should have a right to gun ownership as part of proposed reforms to address home invasions. On TTT's morning show, Sturge said the government is moving in two phases. First, strengthening the legal framework for self-defense, and secondly, making it easier for homeowners to obtain guns. He said it is his personal view that Trinidad and Tobago should adopt a U.S.-style approach where property owners have greater access to firearm rights subject to certain restrictions, for example, domestic violence.
Now, my own view, it would require legislative change. My own view is that we should adopt the American system. If you own property, you should be entitled as a right to a firearm, except in certain situations. If you are someone who beats your wife and things like that, you shouldn't be entitled to it, because there's always the risk that you could use it against the people who you are supposed to protect.
The minister said based on his suggestion, if someone has to leave their home with a firearm, then the police commissioner would have to give permission. However, former police commissioner Gary Griffith disagrees with this suggestion. In his opinion, that would be a recipe for disaster.
I definitely will never agree to that. That will actually put us even in a worse situation than the United States, where it is that is about the right to bear arms, because there are many situations that must take place before anyone should be issued a firearm.
Griffith's views are being echoed by criminologist Dr. Randy Sipasad and regional security expert Dr. Gavin Hero, who warn against such a broad-brushed move. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles says the country needs to hear from its Prime Minister directly and not through social media, particularly over the murder of a police officer at a municipal police station and the theft of an unknown number of guns. On CNC3's Morning Brew today, Beckles chastised the government for its supposed mishandling of the country's crime situation. She says while the statements from Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara are acceptable, as head of the National Security Council, it is indicative of the Prime Minister to speak to the nation directly.
The Prime Minister cannot continue to govern using TikTok, WhatsApp, email, Facebook. That is not good enough. We want the Prime Minister to make herself available to the media. I'm here today. I mean, I'm sure you'd be quite happy if the Prime Minister comes and makes herself available, or the media. I mean, you don't have to be there every week, but I mean, oh gosh, once a month. But we haven't seen her addressing the public in that way since, as far as I recall, the month of June.
Beckles says last weekend was a horrific reminder that the ongoing state of emergency has failed.
Well, I mean, look at The Guardian this morning, okay? And what it tells us is that the state of emergency has failed the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, you would recall that when the government originally, came to the public and came to the Parliament, we supported the extension, but on the last occasion, we did not support it.
Beckles says the proposed zones of special operations is not the answer for the failing state of emergency, adding that the government does not have a multi-pronged approach to crime.
Well, today we asked, should the Prime Minister address the nation to explain the government's anti-crime plan?
Here's what some of you told us.
Yes, I think she should address the nation, but then, I mean, coming up with a plan on why I think she might get the people false hope.
Yes, the Prime Minister should in fact address the nation because of this spate of crime that is going on, especially under the state of emergency. This is what previous Prime Ministers would have done.
Yes, I think the Prime Minister should address the nation. After all, she is the Prime Minister, and we need to have confidence in our government. Reason being, look at the crime spree. I mean, it's getting out of hand.
It's our duty as Prime Minister of our nation to do so, just to give the people of Trinidad a sense of security that something is being done, or that they do have some type of intention to work with, us as the citizens that we put her in place, So let us know what is the decisions that she's making to make this place a little better.
Everybody's scared, so just to help ease people's minds and everything with the SOE, I think she should say something.
I don't really think it's necessary. The Commissioner of Police already made a statement and thing. But I think if she could come out and say something in public, I think it would help her cause.
I believe it's about time that our Honorable Prime Minister comes to the nation and gives a general speech on the crime situation so that we could all be aligned. I feel like there's a lot of different narratives. The people might think crime is going up, but they keep on saying crime is going down.
The police is the problem, and the police and the public, that they don't have an agreement. So that's about the most I could say, because I can't say not more the police, I can't say not more the criminals.
Still to come in the news, the country's murder rate may have decreased, but government is still facing criticism. Tonight, we examine the UNC's approach to national security in its first year in office.
Senator Janelle John Bates is replaced on Parliamentary Committee. She says she'll respect her party's decision.
Coming up in sport, Week 2 highlights from the TNT Volleyball Federation's 2026 Super League.
Can you do this?
Immediately after being sworn into office last year, the Prime Minister declared that her government will tackle crime head-on by making TNT a safer place within its first 6 months in office.
12 months later, the murder rate may have decreased, but the government is being criticized for its decision to pull out the emergency regulations on more than one occasion.
Kimmery Fletcher has more in this special report.
One year ago, the United National Congress swept into office with a promise that
6 months from today, under a new UNC government, you will be in a safer and happier place in TNT.
Today, as the administration prepares to celebrate its one-year anniversary, that promise is being measured by the number of lives lost over the last year versus the frequency of states of emergency proclamations. From the get-go, the new UNC administration set out to distance itself from the former PNM-led national security model. In one of her first major structural moves, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar dismantled the Ministry of National Security, splitting its mandate into two: the Ministry of Homeland Security under former Senior Superintendent Roger Alexander, and the Ministry of Defense under Criminal Defense Attorney Wayne Sturge. On July 18, 2025, the first SOE was declared. At the time, Attorney General John Jeremy said a criminal syndicate was orchestrating targeted attacks and plotting assassinations of senior government officials. After its initial 15 days, Parliament extended it for 3 months. It was further extended in October and ended on January 31st. Exactly 30 days after the first SOE ended, another SOE was declared on March 2nd. This time, Jeremy blamed a surge in violent gang activity orchestrated by gang members from inside the nation's prisons. Between these proclamations, the government failed to pass a Zones of Special Operations Bill 2026. It's been 7 weeks since the second SOE was declared, yet many citizens claim it isn't effective. When Guardian Media visited communities across the country, the fear of crime was palpable.
It's scary for anybody to walk out of their house or even to stay in your home now, even in a state of emergency.
Similarly, opposition leader Penelope Beckles is among several critics who says the country is no safer 1 year later. And according to her, it's because the government has no crime plan.
If you are getting to the stage where 11-month child is being killed, and even recently again in Arima there where a father and another young child was injured, we can't feel safer. I mean, we did not support the last extension of the SOE and we said why. And our position is this: you must have a crime plan.
Former Minister and Police Commissioner Gary Griffith has also accused Alexander of squandering his first year in office without producing a single new strategy.
It's not the wheel that needs to be reinvented.
Griffith also accused Alexander of rejecting advice or help from others. Acknowledging that being a policymaker is new for Alexander, Griffith says after a year, it's high time he starts acting his role as minister.
Him making all these one-liners, blowing in a bag and saying all these things that just confuse people, it is not helping.
When CNC3 News caught up with Alexander to address the criticism that he has no crime plan, he replied,
"Really?"
Multiple attempts to secure a sit-down interview to discuss the minister's first year in office over the last week have gone unanswered. While there's been much pushback on the domestic front, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessa's first year back in office can also be defined by her choice to look beyond the nation's borders for solutions. In March, Persad-Bissessa attended the Shields of the Americas Summit in Florida, met with United States President Donald Trump to discuss regional security, and under Sturge's watch, TNT also saw a lot of unexplained U.S. military cooperation, including the presence of U.S. military personnel and a U.S. military radar in Crown Point, Tobago. While the sudden presence of a military radar in Tobago received major public pushback, Sturge said it was a necessary crutch for the Coast Guard. Apart from hard power security approaches, criminologist Dr. Randy Sipasad tells CNC3 the Homeland Security Ministry is having consistent stakeholder meetings focused on at-risk youths.
That particular meeting was geared towards diagnosing the youth crime problem and creating a system, or at least starting the process of creating a better coordinated system amongst youth-serving agencies so that the services could be provided to at-risk youths.
He said while the public sees the hard power of the SOE, these behind-the-scenes talks are building the actual infrastructure for a long-term crime plan. While some say work is being done behind the scenes and others publicly criticize the government's crime plan, the question still remains. 1 year later under this administration, are you safer or not? Kay Marie Fletcher, CNC3 News.
All right, thank you so much, Kay Marie. Well, Tobago police are investigating an incident involving one of their own after a video surfaced showing an officer assaulting a woman.
The footage circulated on social media shows the officer pulling the woman's hair and striking her repeatedly about the face and head. The incident has sparked outrage with calls for swift action to ensure the victim is protected.
Assistant Police Commissioner Rishi Singh says investigators are working to bring the matter to a resolution, but notes that cooperation from those involved will be necessary.
Investigations are going on into the matter, and we're working to bring some resolution. I just want person to remember that the video, even though it tells something, is evidence, tells shows that we are required to force another action, any progress that needs to take place. So this depends a lot on willingness of parties to be engaged.
16 years after losing her nephew in a jet ski tragedy, one Tobago woman is urging compassion following another devastating incident. Kathleen Roberts says, while the death of 7-year-old Angelica Jogi is heartbreaking, she believes there was no malicious intent behind it. Angelica was killed on April 8th after a jet ski entered a restricted bathing area at Pigeon Point and struck her and 3 relatives. A 32-year-old suspect who initially fled the scene was arrested a day later, but has since been released pending further investigations. Roberts, whose nephew died in a crash while operating a jet ski in Pigeon Point, says forgiveness must be part of the conversation. Meanwhile, Arnold Jogi, father of Angelica, said he is leaving everything in the hands of the law following the suspect's release. He added that he is trusting police to do what is best. PNM Senator Janelle John Bates has broken her silence since being removed from a parliamentary committee after being accused of compromising its integrity by editing a witness statement belonging to former Health Minister Terrence Dialsing.
Outside of the Senate today, John Bates said she respects her party's decision and believes it will allow the work of the committee, which is looking into the state's procurement of medication, to continue without being overshadowed by other issues. Today, the Senate announced the PNM's decision to replace her on the committee with Senator Vishnu Danpal. The committee has recommended that Parliament examine Senator John Bates's conduct to determine whether it mounts to a breach of privilege or contempt of Parliament. CNC3 News, meanwhile, asked the senator if she's concerned she will now be removed from the upper house.
I know that a report has been laid in Parliament, and I think that any facts that need to be established should be established through any appropriate parliamentary process. And of course, it's in the hands of my political leader, and I would respect any decision that she makes.
We also sought to press the senator on if she believes she did something wrong and whether she regrets helping Terrence Dialsing. However, she walked away. Meanwhile, opposition Senator Faris Arawi was also named in the controversy, as his name also appeared on the Word document. Arawi, whose conduct may be examined by the Parliament as well, did not wish to comment on the matter today. But the opposition leader today spoke on CNC3's Morning Brew program on John Bates's future.
I came back in yesterday. I have asked for a report. I will be meeting with Senator Bates this week because I believe, Senator Bates is an attorney, so am I. And you talked a while ago about a fair process. A fair process clearly means that you give somebody, they have the right to be heard, and if you make a decision, you make a decision with all the facts that is before you.
Well, Terrence Dialsing has not yet spoken on the matter despite numerous attempts to contact him. The Homeland Security Minister says government will move to introduce stricter legislation governing how funeral homes and morgues dispose of human remains in the wake of last Saturday's discovery at the Comoto Cemetery. Responding to questions in the Senate today, Roger Alexander said the situation exposed significant gaps in the regulatory framework governing the handling and disposal of bodies. An investigation was launched after 2 workers from a popular funeral home were found illegally disposing of 56 bodies. Alexander noted that the incident underscores the need for improved measures.
We are committed to restoring public confidence by ensuring that these procedures and legal breaches are met with the full force of the law. The government is committed to ensuring that the necessary legislation is brought before Parliament to ensure that this never happens again.
The minister also pointed to ongoing work by the Forensic Science Center, where detailed analysis is being conducted to determine the exact origin of the remains.
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. Tobago tourism stakeholders brace for rough landing as domestic passengers are merged with international departures.
Well, sunshine was in charge and temperatures were climbing. Will we see repeat weather in the forecast? Details after the break.
Broken! Ever since I started wearing hands-free Glide Step Skechers Sleep-ins, my other shoes are useless. With Skechers Sleep-ins, I just step in and they're on. Try Skechers Sleep-ins.
Wheels and full, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
Introducing the new Sun Mix Nut Bar. Available in 3 delicious flavors: granola raisin nut, almond cranberry crunch, and coconut almond crisp. All packed on a rich bed of dark chocolate.
Taste the good life, snack right. Taste the good life anytime. The good life. Sun Mix.
Sunshine Snacks Sun Mix Nut Bar. Taste the good life.
The Tobago Hotel and Tourism Association is predicting adjustment challenges following changes at the Piarco International Airport. From April 24th, all passengers will use a single departure point and a centralized security checkpoint as the domestic departure lounge is being removed. The airport's authority says the move brings Piarco in line with international standards, improves passenger flow, and mirrors the system at the yet-to-be-opened airport terminal in Tobago. The authority noted that there will be a dedicated line for domestic passengers, but Tourism Association head Reginald McLean believes the transition will not be seamless.
Hopefully the end game will make it easier, but they're going to be teething problems. A lot of people are going to get caught off guard because they're going to arrive at the airport and realize that they may be late and they may miss their flight because it's not as close as it was before. So we'll wait and see.
McLean believes the change may make it easier for international passengers on connecting flights to Tobago.
However, the airport's authority says the process remains unchanged. Those passengers will continue to pass through immigration and customs in Trinidad before connecting onto a domestic flight to Tobago. Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett says the launch of the ministry's Form 1 digital AI textbooks will ease the financial burden on parents, cutting the cost of textbooks and even reducing the need for extra lessons. He was speaking at the official launch of the initiative at Moruga Secondary School. The minister explained that the AI-supported textbooks will allow students to interact with content and continue learning beyond school hours. He added that connectivity will not be a barrier as internet access is not required. Within the next 3 years, he says the ministry will be able to develop digital textbooks for all levels of secondary school. But at this stage, digital English and mathematics books are available at the Form 1 level.
At the end of this term, we added 4 more digital books: Science, IT, Information Technology, Social Studies, and Spanish. And by August of this year, students, when you go into Form 2, we will have those 6 books ready for you at the Form 2 level.
The minister says the technology is not meant to replace teachers, but can be used as an additional and exciting tool to deliver the curriculum. At Moruga Secondary, there are 67 Form 1 students, all of whom have access to the digital textbooks. Well, the central bank says the economy is steady for now, but rising food prices and foreign exchange pressures are tightening the squeeze.
Meanwhile, concerns are mounting over the proposed landlord surcharge, with the opposition warning it could pose a security risk for property owners and lead to double taxation.
Andrea Perez-Lobos tells us more in tonight's Business Watch.
Trinidad and Tobago's economy in 2025 is stable on the surface, but pressures are building, according to the central bank's annual economic survey released on Tuesday. Inflation remains low but is rising. Headline inflation moved from 0.5% in 2024 to 1.0% in 2025. The biggest impact is at the grocery. Food prices increased sharply, with food inflation doubling to 3.0%. This was driven by higher global prices for sugar, dairy, and oils. Consumers are paying more for meat, milk, eggs, and fruits. Fish prices also increased. Staples like bread, cereal, and cooking oils went up. While more people are working, especially in retail, hospitality, and manufacturing, fewer people are entering the workforce. On the external side, pressures are rising. The country recorded a deficit of just over US $900 million in the first 9 months of 2025. Foreign reserves fell by US $235 million to just over US $5.3 billion. This still covers about 6 months of imports, but the trend is downward. Turning to other business news, the opposition is raising red flags over the landlord's business surcharge in the Finance Bill 2025, warning of serious security risk and potential double taxation. The concerns were outlined at a town hall meeting in Diego Martin on Monday evening, where former Finance Minister Carl Mimbert, attorney Sinclair O'Neill examined key clauses in the proposed legislation.
Now, this act links your identity to your income-producing assets in a public forum. As noted in recent High Court rulings, this creates an insurmountable hurdle to your constitutional rights and privacy, and potentially exposes property owners to serious security risk.
Former Finance Minister Carl Mimbert also questioned how the law would affect smaller landlords, particularly the elderly.
If by the 30th of May, they do not register themselves as a landlord, they are liable to a fine of $250,000 and jail for 3 years. This is madness.
And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Andrea Perez Soba's CNC3 Business Watch.
It's now time for the weather. Sigoni's back with us. Ria had a walk downtown today. It was a hot walk.
Super terrible day to wear all black and walk through the city.
Very horrible day to wear all black, because today we got up to 33 degrees Celsius, and in all black, I'm sure Ria felt like it was 40 degrees Celsius. Yeah, and that's the thing. Your real field temperature is hotter than it actually is out there. Yeah. So let's take a look at that forecast, because will we see repeat weather into tomorrow's outlook? Well, it all begins from what's happening right now. And at this minute, what we're seeing is a relatively stable atmosphere that's just sitting across the general area, but we have very light winds at play, and that, coupled with daytime heating, is what would have brought on a couple of quick passing showers for those of you in Tobago earlier today. Trinidad, our sky was pretty much covered with dust and haze and smoke mixing in from bushfire activity. Not a lot of shower reaction, but into this evening's forecast, we maintain that partly cloudy, a bit of a dull look out there, a few areas clearing out as the evening progresses in terms of your sky cover, unless you're in Tobago, where we're still seeing some cloudy pockets, and in there just around midnight we'll see some quick passing showers taking us into the pre-dawn period of tomorrow morning. But temperature wise, not too bad, just one notch shy of the mid-20 marker. Into tomorrow though, this is where it gets interesting, because we have that Saharan air layer still moving in. It's at a mild concentration, so the haziness is still with us, and the heat is also going to be with us. Again, light winds in the general area, and the atmosphere is quite stable. So we're seeing generally fair conditions, and we could also see some partly cloudy pockets developing because of that daytime heating. Clouds form, some quick passing showers can be expected, especially along those hilly areas of Trinidad and along along the western portions of the island as well. Tobago will see an afternoon shower or two, while Trinidad kicks off the morning with a quick passing shower. And the temperature, we're seeing 32 degrees Celsius right now, but it could peak to 33 during the daytime hours. We'll tell you if it does or not into tomorrow's outlook. Now, if you're heading offshore because you just want to beat the heat, well, we're looking out for really cool conditions here. Seas are slight to moderate with winds from a northeast to easterly direction, and wave heights are well below 1.5 meters. Nothing to complain about because spring tide is not in effect, so no significant marine weather activity for the next 24-hour period. Yeah, get out there and just enjoy the beaches while you can. So quick recap as we jump into the end of this forecast. It's going to be another steamy day across the islands with that dust haze and that sunshine mixing in there. And we'll also see in the forecast some smooth to moderate seas for those of you thinking about venturing offshore. I wish I was doing that tomorrow.
Yeah, it's great weather to just be at the beach. In the water, not the sand. All right, thank you so much, Sigoni. We'll still to come in the news. $5,000 reward offered for local fishermen who went missing while delivering a boat to another island.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
Let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve. Big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Get a free pair of polarized sunglasses with the purchase of new Gen S Transitions lenses with anti-reflective coating and frames. Selected designer frames now just $4.99 with additional promotions. Hurry, limited time only at Seaview Optical.
Broken! Ever since I started wearing hands-free glide step Skechers sleep-ins, my other shoes are useless. With Skechers sleep-ins, I just step in and they're on. Try Skechers sleep-ins.
Your immune system is your first line of defense. Discover BioStrath Immune Health. BioStrath Immune Health is enriched with zinc, ensuring that your body stays resilient. BioStrath Immune Health. Get what you need naturally.
Weeks after two Santa Flora fishermen disappeared at sea, a U.S. $5,000 reward is being offered for information leading to their recovery. Alvin Morgan and Damian Ruiz were hired by a United Kingdom resident to deliver a 29-foot pirogue from Tobago to Union Island. The men left on March 2nd, but never arrived. Neither the vessel nor the fishermen have been seen since. Any leads can be forwarded to the email missing.camper143@gmail.com. From Kung Fu to half marathons, China's robots are finding their stride even if their dance floor skills are still buffering.
Here's more in tonight's Tech Talk with Brent Pinero.
So the practice sessions beforehand didn't exactly go according to plan. But on Sunday, the humanoid robots hit the road, their creators determined to prove that they are the future. Running alongside a track filled with human competitors, over 300 robots of various sizes pounded Beijing's asphalt as they competed in Beijing E-Town's 2026 humanoid robot half marathon. In some cases, pounded may be a bit of a stretch, but we digress. Organizers say about 40% of the robots navigated the course autonomously, while the others were controlled remotely. The winner, a bright red and black robot named Lightning, developed by Chinese smartphone maker Honor. It finished the 21-kilometer run in 50 minutes and 26 seconds. That's, get this, more than 6 minutes faster than the current human world record of 57 minutes and 20 seconds. That's according to World Athletics. Now, this isn't a case of the 5K fever that seems to have overtaken TNT spreading to China. In fact, China's robot industry has been making huge strides, no pun intended, since the government listed robotics as one of the 10 key sectors in a blueprint for upgrading Chinese industries and shedding its reputation as the world's cheap labor factory. We've seen robots do everything from football to kung fu. But if anything, it sure proves that while athletes may have to start worrying about job security, dancers, yeah, I think you're safe. Brent Penner, CNC3 News.
I can't wait to see the very first 5K race locally where robots compete against Trini or Trinidad or Tobagonian runners.
That is one race I don't think we'll be able to win.
We may not win it, but I know it'll be in this podcast. What do you think, Jassy?
Yeah, we'll certainly find a place as the rest of the world is finding a place for these robots. Let's tell you what's coming up in our sportcast. Rugger-Rammer signals the start of the new rugby season, and Caribs have managed to wrestle the title away from Harvard. We'll also tell you that tennis has served up an ace as the Laureus Academy salutes the best in the world. Stick around, sport is next.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Welcome to Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do enjoy your stay, sir. You want some coffee?
Can I have the milk?
Perfect then.
That's exactly what we need.
Hi, the pool is this way.
Whatever you're here for, we're here for you. Stay smart at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Welcome back. It's time for sport now. Trinidad and Tobago's match against the Leeward Islands was abandoned today due to dangerous conditions at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in North Sound, Antigua. The playing strip's uneven bounce led to Leeward's batsman Jeremiah Louis being taken to hospital after being hit by Red Force bowler Jaden Seals.
The Leewards resumed day 3 on 136 for 6 into their second innings, leading TNT by 92 runs at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, where this grassy top had the TNT seam bowlers with tails in the air. Jaden Seals bagged his 7th wicket of the innings by sending back Jamal Hamilton for 41. With 10 wickets in the match to his name, Seals was smelling blood, but even he could not believe what unfolded next.
Oh, he struck a mighty hit.
Leeward's batter Jeremiah Louis was visibly upset after being struck on the helmet. He subsequently was taken for stitches on a laceration over his eye. After deliberations among teams, match officials and ground staff, the match was abandoned as a draw just before the scheduled lunch, with Leeward's batting on 140 for 7. Speaking afterwards, Leeward's assistant coach William Cornwall aired his doubts about the pitch.
To me, he wasn't given, in my opinion, the preparation of how the wicket looked like, and hence we see so many players get damaged. And look at Jeremiah Louis this morning, even before that. So it's not on one side this is happening, the pitch being misbehaving throughout. the whole entire 3 days.
Red Force head coach Riyad Emirates was in agreement about the state of the pitch, but felt the decision to abandon play was belated and not in the best interest of competition.
For me, I think, if that's the decision, they should have made it on day one. And it's very disappointing the way that they went about making a decision. If I was Leeward Islands in their position, they probably think that they will lose the game, so they didn't want to go back onto the field and play, which is fair on their part. But I think, there should be a cricketing decision. I don't think a cricketing decision was made today.
It is not the first time a first-class match has been abandoned at this venue. Back in 2009, West Indies and England aborted a test match after just 10 deliveries. A Cricket West Indies statement on the latest incident indicated that the teams will get the points earned up to the point of the abandonment. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Well, let's bring you abreast of developments in other matches in the competition. Guyana rose to the top of the standings with their second win in as many matches, beating the Windward Islands by an innings and 141 runs. Resuming on 361 for 8 in response to the Windwards' 141, Guyana reached 491 and then bowled the Windwards out again for 199. In Jamaica, Kevin Wickham scored his third consecutive 100 as the Barbados Pride closed day 3 on 460 for 5, responding to the Jamaica Scorpions' total of 457. Wickham scored 105, and Craig Brathwaite, he made 176. So a lot of runs there in that match at Sabina Park, Jamaica. Speaking of one of the iconic venues in the region, the historic Guaracara Park in Marabella, South Trinidad, is set to be restored. After repeated calls for action to preserve the iconic sporting venue, most recently from Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board President Azim Bassarat, work has begun to refurbish the facility and return it to its former glory. The ground, located on the Petrotrin refinery compound, fell into disrepair following the plant's closure in 2018, but previously hosted the Southern Games, first-class cricket, and other cultural activities. There were 22 matches in this weekend's Trinidad and Tobago Volleyball Federation's Super League, and they did not disappoint. On Sunday, Zenith met JMVP in a repeat of the 2025 B Division final, while CC10 Vets made light work of Karasu.
We picked this one up in the third set with Zenith in the darker green shirts to the left, up 2 sets, 25-9, 25-18 in Sunday's penultimate men's match. JMVP, the 2025 B Division silver medalist, put Zenith on the back foot early in the third and looked up for a comeback, leading 6-5 at that point. But Zenith, last year's B Division winners, had an answer and rallied, switching the good mood to the other side of the net. The swing proved permanent, Zenith going ahead by 2, 10-8, and things looking ominous for JMVP. And the dark greens looked like they had them. Fast forward, and Zenith found themselves within touching distance with this point 24-21 in their favor. Still, JMVP fought on. A heroic rally put them within 2 to set up an exciting finish. But Zenith would not let it slip and put an exclamation point on the match to win it in 3 sets, 25-9, 25-18, 25-22. They remained perfect on 9 points, just 4 aloft of leaders Big Sipos. Sunday's second-to-last women's game was between CC10 in white and Karasu in orange to the right, with either side giving as good as they got in the early stages. However, the veterans took over and soon had their way. CC10 put up a blockade and ran to a 25-12 first set win. More of the same followed in the second set, with the plucky Karasu women increasingly under the cosh, as CC10 powered their way to a more dominant second set win, 25-10. With Saturday's 5-set defeat to women's table toppers Big Sipos in the rearview, CC10 pressed for an earlier conclusion to their last match of the weekend and soon had it all wrapped up in 3 sets, 25-12, 25-10, 25-14, as they ran to their second win of the Super League. Jovan Ravello, CNC3 Sport.
Caribs Rugby Football Club are the Trinidad and Tobago Rugby Football Union's Rugorama Champions 2026. On their way to the title, the team from Queen's Park Savannah dethroned the 2025 holders, Harvard. Traditionally, the Trinidad and Tobago Rugby Football Union's Rugorama competition marks the start of the 15-a-side club season. In the round-robin phase at the Queen's Park Savannah on Saturday, defending champions Harvard notched 2 wins out of 4. Joshua Marson on the scoresheet here against the national under-19s. But the national side responded appropriately, sneaking over the try line themselves via Anthony Sabazon. And Jasani Daniel made the conversion to put them ahead 7-5. But Harvard were champs for a reason and booked the required result thanks to Nigel Ballington for a 10-7 victory. In the semi-finals, they beat Royal Aliens 5-0. Caribs notched 3 wins out of 4 matches in the round-robin phase, including edging out old rivals Northern 5-0 before receiving a bye in the semis. In the final, Harvard kicked off, but found themselves trailing Caribs, who ventured behind enemy lines here as Kari Dawood pushing through with the determined score. And Anderson Joseph with the successful conversion to put Caribs up 7-0. But Harvard dug in and came up with the play of the game. Isaiah Small and Romario Haridath combining, the latter with the army roll into the try zone. Alfonso Candao's conversion leveled the scores at 7 apiece, but Caribs, who just last weekend captured the Robert Farfan Cup against Northern, would not be denied a second title of the new season. Joseph's penalty edged them ahead 10-7. That's how it stayed as they wrestled the Rugorama title from Harvard and will reign until 2027. Next up, tennis does the double at the Laureus Awards in tonight's International Roundup. Two stars of modern-day tennis swept the Laureus Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year awards when the prestigious ceremony was held in Madrid, Spain on Monday. 22-year-old Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz won the men's award, and 27-year-old Belarusian Arina Sabalenka won the women's equivalent, both of them for the first time in their careers. Sabalenka reached 3 of the 4 major finals last year and won her second straight US Open in September. Alcaraz also reached 3 finals in 2025, winning both the French and US Opens. Other recognitions went to Spain and FC Barcelona footballer Lamine Yamal, the Young Sportsperson of the Year, and Olympic champion gymnast Romanian Nadia Comaneci, Lifetime Achievement Awardee, 50 years after she earned 7 perfect 10 scores at the Montreal Olympic Games. And in football, the Canadian Premier League has seen its first goal allowed under the new daylight offside rule, which is being trialled by FIFA in the league. On Saturday, Pacific FC forward Alejandro Diaz was on target in a 2-2 draw with Halifax Wanderers, with a strike that would have been ruled out elsewhere under the standard laws of the game. The daylight interpretation means there should be a complete gap between the attacker and the second-to-last opposition player or the last defender. The rule is being tested as part of efforts to reduce marginal offside decisions and encourage attacking play, with potential for a complete change across the world for the 2027-2028 season. And now Rugorama in the Savannah is where we found tonight's Sport High. Harvard put the moves on Carib with this eye-catching try in the Rugorama final. Precision passing into Isaiah Small with the ankle breaker and sleek assist to the equally stylish Romario Haridath. Small and Haridath cash in on the style points and hit the exclamation with tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
Hope nobody was seriously injured in that.
Well, we hope so, indeed.
Thank you, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
The Caribbean Court of Justice has reserved judgment in a high-profile extradition case involving Guyana's opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed and his father, businessman Nazar Mohammed.
Today, CCJ President Winston Anderson said the court needs more time to carefully consider arguments before ruling, but assured the matter will be decided as soon as practical. The case stems from a 2025 request by the United States seeking the extradition of the Mohammeds on multiple charges, including fraud and money laundering. Guyana's courts have already dismissed challenges to the extradition process, but the Mohammeds are now seeking special leave to appeal to the CCJ, the country's final court. The court also cautioned attorneys to avoid public comments that could undermine confidence in the justice system as the region awaits the final ruling.
Today is what would have been the 100th birthday of Queen Elizabeth II. The royal family marked it with several events in London. Princess Anne opened the Queen Elizabeth II Garden in Regent Park. The late monarch's only daughter unveiled a plaque in the space that's set to be available to the public on April 27th. King Charles and Queen Camilla visited the British Museum to see the design for a memorial honoring the late monarch. The royal family also invited special guests to a reception at Buckingham Palace. They included people who share the Queen's birth date and therefore those turned 100 years old today.
How cool.
Yeah. All right, from here we take another quick break. We'll be right back.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Run Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve big goals, small ones too. Run Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Run Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
It's time to recap our headlines. Number of people held in WPC killing and gun heist continues to climb. 10 people now in custody as more guns are recovered.
Homeland Security Minister reveals several people detained for quadruple murder in Morva, while police have ramped up security in that area.
In sport, poor pitch conditions at the Sir Viv Richards Stadium resurface, forcing the Trinidad and Tobago and Leewards match to be abandoned.
And in the weather, sunshine is in charge and temperatures are climbing, but keep an eye out for quick showers.
Well, as we leave you, let's remind you to stay connected with us on our social media platforms.
There you'll find tonight's stories, the latest updates, and exclusive content. And don't forget to pick up a copy of the TNT Guardian newspaper.
Well, let's take a look now at our photo of the week. This stunning shot captures two of nature's standout moments, both happening at once. Taken by Guardian photographer Christian De Silva, the image shows a glowing halo wrapped around the sun. That ring, known as a sun halo, forms when sunlight bends and reflects through tiny ice crystals high up in the atmosphere. And just below it, you can't miss the burst of color, vibrant pink bougainvillea in full bloom, adding a perfect contrast against that bright blue sky. It's a beautiful reminder of how much is happening around us when we take a moment to look up and look around. And of course, it's another striking image captured by the talented team here at the Trinidad Guardian. We'll keep bringing you their best shots every week right here on CNC3. It's a great way to end the news.
Such a spectacular shot.
All right, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Rambly.
I'm Ryan Beechu.
I am Jassi Marik.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed. Have a good night.
You're watching CNC3.